Hey YouTube, Will35, and this is my new Freewing A-18E Super Hornet. This plane is amazing. I flew it today. We were actually having thunderstorms here in Maine, and we were able to sneak in a maiden flight between the storms. So if you see the video that I uploaded prior to this one, you'll notice that the skies were pretty dark in some areas, but we were both, my brother and I were both able to get in our maiden flights, and they both went really well. This plane just flies really good. So as you can tell, this is the Royal Maces version of the F-18. Um, has some pretty cool graphics on it. The paint job on it is good, very good. It's not peeling off and um, cracking off or anything like that. It's really a pretty good paint job. Here's the close-up of the pilot. And so what I used on mine, I bought the 12 blade kit, which I believe cost about $7, almost $8. Let me show you the box that it came in. Basically, it's this box right here. So that's the 12 blade fan kit, and I put it in here and took away. I think the original one was, I think, a 5 blade. Put that in here and it fit perfectly. Let's see if I can show it to you. Let's see. There you go. The difference that I notice, and because my brother has his on a stock form, thing I noticed is that it definitely it seemed like it had a little bit more power, maybe a little more low end, but I can't tell for sure. I mean, I'm not able to fly my brother's plane, and he didn't fly mine, so to me it just seemed like it. Maybe I'm hallucinating, but it did seem like it. The sound that it made wasn't really that different. I mean, it sounded a little bit different, but it wasn't that big of a deal. What I'm planning on maybe doing is changing the ESC on this, but right now it flew fine. It wasn't hot after I got it down, and so I'm not really too worried about it. Now, as far as what battery I used, I actually used this 3000 4-cell battery as opposed to this 2200. The 2200 was too light, and I had to put weight. I would have to put weight on the nose of this plane to get it to actually balance out. So I decided to go without doing that and just using the 3000 milliamp battery. 3000 milliamp battery 4-cell. Alright, so let's just weigh the battery and just see how much this thing weighs. It looks like it says 11.32 ounces. So now let's look at the 2200. Now this battery might be a little bit heavier than others because it's a heavy duty battery from Currency, but that says 9.15 ounce. So obviously, and without surprise, the 3000 is obviously much heavier. So instead of putting just dead weight on this, I figured the best thing to do is to use the battery and have some power behind that weight that I'm putting on here. So what I did and how I set it up is I'll open up this hatch and I'll show you exactly how it sits in there. Alright, so here it is. The hatch is open, and what I do is I just line up the battery with the wood. As you can see, as you can see back there, put some Velcro on it, and it's a piece of wood, and that's where your battery tray is. And what I do is I just push that sucker right in there, right in line with that wood, as you can see. And then you can strap it in using this Velcro. Tighten it up a little bit, but it's a snug fit. So I doubt that he would even move around with that strap. But with that on there, just that way, it balances out perfectly. Um, so just a little tip for you guys, if you want to try to use a 3000, it definitely fits. It's snug, and it balances it perfectly when you line it up with the battery tray. Alright, now I think on the video I was talking to my brother and asking him about what type of adjustments he was doing, and really one of the main things he was doing was that he was trying to give it more up elevator. So after he brought his down, we were able to see how far down he actually had to adjust it, and this is pretty much how I flew my plane after the adjustment was done. So as you can see, the tip of that elevator is almost lined up to the top of the lettering on that Navy, on that where it says Navy. So so that's pretty much how mine is set up. It works fine just like that. I didn't have to do hardly any trim changes after I put it up there and adjusted it, and it worked great. So hopefully that'll help somebody out. I know that there's really nothing on the manual as far as how that should be adjusted, so hopefully that'll help somebody out. Let's see what else is there. I think that's pretty much it. I did one more thing. I did set the timer for 3 minutes. This thing eats up batteries quickly, so with 3 minutes I was able to have a fairly good flight, pretty much on the throttle most of it, and I had plenty to basically land. When I finally landed, I had about 3.75 left on each cell, so I was happy with that, and I'll leave it at 3 minutes. Okay, so probably another thing that you'd want to know more about is the settings on my dual rate and expo. So on my dual rate, I have it at 66% on low rate with a 50% expo for the aileron.
High rates.
And my high rates, as you can see, is 91% on dual rate, expo 60%. Let me show you the elevator. Oh. So there's my elevator on high rate, 45% dual rate, 40% expo.
Low rates.
And low rates, dual rates 35% with the 40% expo. That for me was good. You guys might want to have it faster or maybe even slower than that, but that's up to you. I'm just sharing with you what my settings were and what worked for me. So, at least it'll give you something to go by and start with. Alright, so if you have any questions about this plane, feel free to put any kind of notes that you want in the bottom, and I'll try to answer you as quickly as I can. Other than that, thank you for watching, and have a great day.